I love it, and yeah, I'm like fulfilling the mission. Everything has been preparing me, I think.
That's cool. That's really cool. Okay, here we go. Getting ready to go. Welcome to Delta Renaissance. I'm your host, Sade Turnipseed, and on today's show, I am truly, truly pleased to have with me a sister who has returned to the Delta, returned to Mississippi. She lives now currently in St. Louis. She's an attorney, an entrepreneur. She has a studio, a beautiful studio that I haven't seen yet, but I know it's gorgeous. It's called Studio 53, and I'm just so happy that you are here today on Delta Renaissance. So welcome, Freida Wheaton.
Thank you, Sade. I am so pleased to be here, and it's a pleasure meeting you. Finally,
I know we have a mutual friend.
Yes,
and he, Mr. Ketchens, Robert Ketchens,
yes,
a phenomenal artist, and I have to give a quick shout out to him too because I'm one of his biggest fans now. I just love his work, and I thank him for bringing you into my life as well.
Well, I love his work too. In fact, I've shown his art in my galleries. I've organized exhibitions for him and done a lot of creative work in terms of promoting his art. But he's the one who told me about you and about the wonderful things that are happening now in the Delta. So I said, I need to be a part of this.
I'm so happy you are. And we'll get into that in a second. But I really wanted everyone to get to know Freida, the attorney, Freida, the art lover, Freida, and the girl from Mississippi. So tell us, you're from Jackson, right?
Born and reared in Jackson, Mississippi in the mid-50s. And I went to public school in Jackson, Mississippi, went to college at Tougaloo, just, down the highway from Jackson. And it's still my home. I still have family there, sisters, a brother, lots of nieces, nephews, and the grands. But it's still home, and I visit often. And now I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
So how long have you been in St. Louis?
I've been in St. Louis, Missouri since 1980. And it was an interesting occurrence getting there. I had lived in St. Louis from 1975 to 1979. When I graduated Tougaloo College, I went to the Washington University graduate school program. I was in a PhD program there in political science.
Oh, okay.
And so I was in St. Louis for that for a while doing my graduate studies. Then I came back to Tougaloo College to teach for 2 years.
So you got the PhD?
I did all but dissertation.
Oh, you ABD. It's kind of like where I am right now.
But it's interesting. I decided that pursuing the PhD at that point was not a priority for me. And so I left with all but my dissertation, and I went back to Tougaloo College to teach for 2 years, and I loved it. I think I was born a teacher.
I feel you, because that's kind of truly my passion. It's about young people who are just interested in learning new things in life and living. And that can be young in age or young in mindset.
Absolutely.
Young in spirit or young at the heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm ABD at the moment, and I feel you, and I understand, and it's like teaching is drawing me as well.
Well, but the difference is you will pursue, and soon you will have your PhD in hand.
Yeah.
So
Pretty funny.
congratulations to you on that. I think that's quite an accomplishment.
Thank you, sister. I
Yes.
appreciate that support. But you didn't stop there. I mean, you went and you taught at the university, but then you went back and got a law degree.
I did. Well, what I found out at Tougaloo College, my students were catching up with me. Keep in mind, I was just a few years older than they were at the time. And I decided that was the time I needed to leave and to do more. I had always planned on becoming a lawyer. It was just a matter of when I would do it. So I chose to leave after 2 years and went back to Washington University School of Law and got my law degree there, which was really a wonderful experience. Most people don't think about law school being a wonderful experience, but because it was really something that I didn't do immediately after undergraduate school, that was always a part of my agenda. I was an older student somewhat, and so I was really focused on getting the law degree. Also very blessed to have worked for the 7-Up company when I was in law school. I had an internship there. I worked there part-time during my 3rd year of law school, and then I was hired as an attorney immediately upon graduation.
So you do corporate law?
Corporate law.
the idea?
Corporate law.
So now, let me back up. Washington, I was just there for my niece's graduation. She got a PhD in microbiology and some high science, and it was amazing. But I realized that Washington University is one of the top universities in the nation.
It is.
Is that also true for the law school?
It is for the law school and for the medical school. It's a great institution. And there are a lot of things happening on the Washington University campus. We have a wonderful chancellor, Chancellor Wheaton, who has done a lot to elevate and to expand what is happening at Washington University.
For the benefit of the students who are watching, and that's really what this show is all about. I think it's more educational than anything else, and it promotes the art and advocates for it and all. But talk to us about that process in becoming a lawyer, the LSATs, for example. You know, describe the pain of that. I mean, because I sat for the LSAT.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Wonderful.
In my other life, I wanted to be an attorney just like you, but talk to us about the process.
Well, the process, you know, some 30 years ago is probably slightly different now, but certainly the LSAT is a critical part of it then and now. And students, potential students, must be centered on what their goal is, on doing their best, on preparing, on doing some of the study courses for the LSAT. There are lots of educational tools available, and with the advent of technology now, not so much when I was in school. I'm in the law school class of 1983. Didn't have personal computers, didn't have, you know, laptops, iPads, iPods, or anything of that nature. So we did all of our research, all of our studying the old-fashioned way, by books, hard copy paper books. But doing the LSAT and being committed to that. Also, you may have a desire to go to 1 or 2 law schools, but my recommendation would be for any student to apply to multiple law schools and expand your chances of getting to the ones that you want to attend. The other part of it is, once you're out of law school and once you passed your bar exam for whatever state, you're a lawyer. Very few people ask where you went to law school. They want to know, what do you bring to the table as an attorney?
So that's good advice, huge good advice for the students. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we're going to come back, and we're going to talk more deeply about corporate law. You know, what that means, that experience, and how that actually evolved into your love and your passion for the arts.
Okay.
So we'll see how law informed Ms. Wheaton on, you know, again, how she became an entrepreneur in the arts. So come on back. We'll be here. I'm just shining like, I don't know what. Jay, give me some powder. What? Give me some powder. Where's my makeup? Man. Okay. Whenever you guys are ready. All right, so Citigroup, right, 25, okay. Welcome back. I'm talking to Freida Wheaton, who is a fantastic sister who, you know, really comes with just a multitude of talent. An attorney, an entrepreneur, a lover of the arts, a patron of the arts. She's here revisiting her home here in Mississippi. But, and I don't want to go too deeply into that just yet, but I do want to talk about your career as an attorney. Which is very serious. I mean, you know, people think lawyers are, you know, just very tight and just confined to the law, and it's like no emotion and always just so precise in thinking and, you know. But what is it like to be an attorney? What is it, that whole life?
Being an attorney is one of the most amazing areas that one can choose as a profession, because not only do you have the ability to look at laws, to interpret them, and to help your client, to help the community, to help your family even, in terms of understanding what the rules and regulations are, how to interpret them, and how to make sure that whatever one does in life that is within the bounds of the law. It's very important. Yes.
Yeah, and that too, for me, had always been the reason to want to study law, is so that you can better understand the rules of the game.
Sure.
I mean, we are in America. It's managed and controlled and run by this thing called the Constitution,
Sure.
which is the law of the land. And so that just again feeds into, well, what informs that Constitution? What informs your privileges here, you know, as a citizen?
Absolutely.
And you need to be informed.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I would agree wholeheartedly. And when I got out of law school, as I said, my interest was in corporate law, and not working for a law firm representing corporate clients, but being in-house counsel representing one client. And that client for me first was a 7-Up company. After 5 years, my client became Citigroup. And at this point, I'm retired from Citigroup after 25 years. So I feel very fortunate in that regard. But one of the things that being in-house counsel really illuminated for me was working with one client, understanding a particular industry, and more than likely, as in-house counsel, one has the ability to do more community work and to expand opportunities, again, with the blessing of the corporate counsel, but also working in the community more. And I certainly had that opportunity with both of my former employers.
Yeah, and I'm sure, you know, it offered you the kind of security that, you know, every woman in the world wants and needs, you know, to think and be an independent professional person, you know, no matter what. And I congratulate you and applaud you, you know, for taking that career path. You know, and I just wonder as well, this whole thing about corporate versus personhood, you know, that thing that's going on now. What are your views about the Supreme Court and their judgment on corporate, that they are a person, or that they are?
Well, yes, corporations are legal entities. They're certainly not human entities, but corporations do have rights. They also have obligations. And so we have a mass array of rules and regulations that apply to corporations, just as there are rules and regulations that apply to individuals. Corporations have to have the appropriate licenses. They must abide by whatever the requirements are in a particular industry, and they must, you know, work with their employees in an appropriate manner. So with respect to corporations, they are corporate entities. They're not people, but there are rights and duties and obligations that go along with that as well.
So how did you make the transition from corporate into the arts? And, you know, I'm just now thinking about, you know, creative license and copyright issues or whatever, but how
Sure.
all that merges together for you and comes out as, you know, you are an artist.
Well, you mentioned corporate copyright, creative license, and there are a lot of other things, just basic contracts in terms of the rights of artists. When artists create works, who own that work? Is it the artist who owns it? And if they sell the work, who owns the rights to publish it? What kinds of relationships must an artist have with a gallery who's showing their work? And with respect to other institutions in terms of collaborating between artists within the museum industry. But for me, and it wasn't just a transition from being a practicing attorney within a corporation to the arts. Arts have been a part of my life and interest for a very long time. So I was able to do a lot of things even when I was still with my company that I worked for. I'm on the board of trustees, the board of commissioners for the St. Louis Art Museum, and I've had that role for over 10 years. I serve on boards of other arts-related organizations in St. Louis, Missouri. So there were opportunities to be engaged and involved in the arts long before I retired. I also have my own gallery, which is Salon 53. It is a private residential art gallery that was established in 2007. What I did was I built an addition to my home and created my own art gallery. I have a vast art collection, but interestingly enough, in the gallery, I only show the works of other artists, and it gives them an opportunity to have a gallery on their resume. It provides an opportunity for individuals who are collectors, such as myself, to engage directly with artists so that they can develop a personal relationship with the artist and have something more than a piece of art that they may buy from a gallery or from some other location and never having met the artist. So it's a real warm and intimate gallery space, and Robert Ketchens has shown there and a lot of other artists, and I'm looking forward to more and more, hopefully some of the artists from this area.
So you guys hear that out there, all you artists from Mississippi. You know, and I can only envision it. I think I can actually see it. And
Yes.
I wish you had brought pictures now, but I know it's Afrocentric in nature. It's probably promoting a lot of the, you know, beautiful aspects of Africa and the Delta.
Yes.
You know, but then let me not, you know, go there. I can't wait to get to St. Louis and check it out for myself real soon.
Absolutely.
But we're going to take another quick break and come back and talk more about art and art advocacy
Okay.
and the need, and see, you know, for me, you know, as a businesswoman and an artist, my first love and my passion is the arts, but then to protect arts rights, you know, for the individual artist is also
Sure.
very, very important, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit more about when
Okay.
we come back. So you guys come on back.
Sure.
Freida Wheaton. Okay. Jay, could you do me a favor? Oh, good. We got a brochure.
Yeah,
Oh,
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you.
Could you do me a favor?
Thank
Her
you.
shot is really strange. It needs to be a little tighter.
Thank you. It was on my mind.
Ah.
Okay, so let's get the shoe on before I have to go.
Oh, nice. Nice. I knew it.
What?
It just looks
You
very
could see it.
classy. Yeah, I knew it would look like this. Just great stuff. Yeah.
She's gonna get you to, when you hold the brochure up, you'll get the shot right here. If you want to situate how you want.
Oh, yeah. It's too small. The images are too small. You're not going to be able to see it. So I can just talk about it. She didn't have to. And then, you know, people can access this online.
I don't have a website, so
Oh.
don't mention a website.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So they can access
They
it.
can
How they get
contact me.
Mhm.
I can provide my email address.
Okay, let's do that.
F
We'll get
R
the-
E I. You want to write it down and or you want me to say it?
I'm going to have you say it, but
Okay. FreiWhea.
WHEA.
at AOL.com. So
Okay.
part of my first name, part of my last name.
Okay. So we'll have folks contact you. You don't want to give out your number, do you? You could,
Email, I think, just
Email?
for now.
Okay.
Yeah. With me?
No, that you can email out.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Put it on a PDF file.
Oh, yeah, I can send it out to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back. I'm here talking to the lovely and very talented Freida Wheaton, and I just got a brochure of Studio 53, and I was
Salon.
right. I'm sorry, Salon 53. And I was absolutely right. It is gorgeous. The house, the layout, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm coming.
Please.
I just
Bring
wanna
friends.
Bring friends, and we'll sip wine and look at art.
Absolutely.
So tell us about that. I mean, how would an artist become a part of the salon? How do, what would be the approach? What would they have to prepare?
Well, actually, I select artists based upon the work that I see that they've produced. If I don't know the artist, I ask them to send information to me, and they can send it to me to my email address,
Which
is FreiWhea at AOL.com.
And we'll repeat that again at the end of the show.
And any artist who's interested in contacting me, send me a note, tell me about yourself, and send me a couple of images. If you have a website, then send me that link and I can look at it. Oftentimes, I meet people at art shows that I go to, and if I'm really intrigued with their work, I'll say to them, talk to me, call me. Let's see if I can show your work in my gallery. And I also have relationships with other galleries in the St. Louis area.
Okay.
So I also help support and introduce other galleries to artists, because there is a lot of places to go around in terms of showing art. So I like to help give every artist who wants to show their work and to be more exposed to the public sphere to be able to do that.
Is there a particular genre of art that you're more particular in, or you have a preference for, if it's sculptural or paintings, or?
Actually, in my gallery, I show paintings, photography, as well as sculpture. I haven't shown any exhibits of sculpture work, but there are some artists I'm working with now who will be developing a show for me in my gallery to show their sculptures.
I
Yes.
have a girlfriend. I just realized I hadn't mentioned her, Ishmaima Nepkata. She does mermaids, and she's from St. Louis. I don't know if you know.
My goodness, how small is the world?
You know Ishmaima.
Oh, absolutely. Ishmaima Nepkata, she's a dear
Yes.
friend.
She's a dear friend.
A
yes.
dear friend. In fact, I have I have several of her pieces in my personal collection.
Really?
I also commissioned Ishmaima to do some things for me that I have sold, but a couple that I'm keeping because they're just too precious. She's a textile artist,
Yes.
and recently she went to South Carolina to be a part of a mermaid
Yes.
show. And when she returned, I invited her over for tea.
Get
And
out of here.
Yes, and
That is
ever
so
since then,
funny.
I've been looking for mermaids for her. So she's a very good artist, very much focused on what she does. And those are the kind of people who I like to meet. And of course, at Salon 53, all of the artists come to my home. They meet collectors, and it's just a fun time. Lots of food, lots of beverages, great conversation, and lots of connections that can be made for future opportunities.
I love it. I can't wait to get off the air, and we're going to call Ish and say, hey, girl, guess
Sure,
what?
absolutely.
I've been knowing her for over 25 years, too, and from Oakland. When
Yes,
she lived in
yes,
Oakland.
Yes, oh good.
But now, bringing it back home to the Delta and to Mississippi, what are your plans? What do you want to do? How can we be a part of this Salon 53 concept and network?
Well, I tell you, as I mentioned, Robert Ketchens was instrumental in introducing me to the House of Khafre and Khafre Inc. and you. And when I heard about the wonderful things that were happening with respect to recognizing and honoring and cherishing the legacy of the sharecroppers in Mississippi, the cotton pickers, I just, goosebumps went through me. And so I knew I had to be here. Unfortunately, I was not here for the groundbreaking of the Cotton Pickers Memorial, but the week after that, I was planning on coming here. And so what I would like to do with respect to that is just help get the word out, to help Khafre Inc. raise funds for the Sharecroppers Memorial and the Interpretive Center, and to help the wonderful sculpture that Ed Dwight has created, help people understand it's here, it's available for purchase, and that it helps to, in the flourishing of art in this community, and some of the things that Khafre Inc. and other groups are doing here in the Delta. So I want to be a part of that. I also know that part of what is happening with the blues industry and with really expanding the blues from beyond the Delta and looking at the relationship between the blues here and music in Africa. So that's another area that I'd like to help in, because I'm a part of an organization that has a sister relationship with Saint Louis in Senegal and St. Louis, Missouri in Missouri. We are sister cities. So there are a number of excursions, trips back and forth to Senegal, and I'd like to work on a program for the music part of it, the blues part of it.
Oh, girl, you know you are singing my song in all aspects.
Good,
and
good.
we welcome you. And,
Thank you.
and definitely need all of what you are bringing to the table. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I say that on behalf of the entire Khafre Inc. team. Yeah, it's a phenomenal project without any question. And again, it's for our ancestors. It's for American citizens today. We all have to be thankful for the benefits that we're receiving on the backs of their labor.
Absolutely.
And that's what equity. And so, yeah, that investment is being manifested through you. It's being manifested through me, through Jay, Shanae, and everybody else around here. But, you know, thank you. Thank you so much for coming and being a part of this. But again, tell us more about how an artist from the Delta or from Mississippi can contact you and can, you know, perhaps even exhibit at Studio 53,
Sure.
or Salon 53.
Sure, absolutely. Any interested artists, contact me, send me an email along with images and a little bit about your background. And if you have a website, include that link. And they can send it to me by email at freidawhea@aol.com. So it's part of my first name, part of my last name at AOL.com.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much. I'd
Thank
love
you.
to hear from all of you.
You know you will. And it ain't but 6 hours away on the car. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
be visiting you very frequently.
Good.
Very soon. Thank you all for being here with us on Delta Renaissance, and I'll see you next week. And again, thank you so much, Freida.
Thank you
for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you,
and your
Sade.
magic.
I loved it. Thank you.
See you next week.